Hey everybody, my name's Safi Kader. I'm 20 years old and I graduated from Purdue this past December with a bachelor's in computer science, and I just landed a role as a product manager, associate product manager to be specific. And I just wanted to get into a video and talk a little bit about how I ended up as a product manager with no previous experience, because it's a bit of an interesting story. Before I started my current position, I worked at a couple of companies. I worked at Intel, Adobe, and Nokia, which was barely an internship. So I worked at Intel and Adobe as a product marketing manager and a software engineering intern. During my time at Adobe, I thought that that was going to be my final job. I was really excited. Adobe was pretty much my dream company. I was working on Premiere Pro, which was just fantastic. I use Premiere. I'm probably editing this video on Premiere right now, and yeah, I really thought going in that this was it for me. But honestly, that just wasn't the case. Although I love the people at Adobe, I just really didn't enjoy software engineering as a career. I didn't enjoy getting up and just writing the next line of code from the last night, just the same monotonous thing every single day. Had like one or two meetings a week, couple stand ups, and it just wasn't for me. I wanted to work with people, I wanted to build things, and I wanted to create impact. So, how did I learn about product management? Well, the first time I learned about product management was actually before I even started college. I went to a speed networking event in California with my cousin the summer of my senior year. And at this event, I was the only like high school person there. I was the only person there who wasn't in college. And I was talking to somebody, and I was like, I really love design. I love, you know, marketing and tech, and I'm a bit of an interdisciplinary person. I'm not just like software engineer. Like I know I want to code. I know that's my life, but I knew I was going into CS and I wanted a job that wasn't exactly just coding. So someone recommended to me product management, but I kind of forgot about it, and it's really hard to get a PM internship. I think I applied to a couple, but they're super competitive, didn't get into any. After realizing I really didn't want to be a software engineer about halfway through my internship with Adobe, I started applying really aggressively to jobs. I used my LinkedIn premium free trial, and I started applying to every job I could. I was like cold DMing any person who worked at a startup, and I'd be like, "Hey, can I work for your startup? I'd love to be there. I'm interested in product management roles after I graduate. I'm working at Adobe right now. Trying to hype myself up." And I got a couple calls back actually. I got a call back from this one guy in New York, didn't really work out, and I got a call back from somebody in Indy who had some connections with Purdue. So I was like, great, okay, yeah, it's gonna work out. And he actually was quite interested in working with me. He said, let's keep in touch. I know you're a little bit far from graduation, but maybe something can work out. I continued to apply, for the next 6 months until graduation began, sort of crept up, but I wasn't really applying too aggressively. I kind of thought I had something in the bag there because I had continued to talk with him throughout. I visited the guy's um, office and everything like that, and it seemed like a pretty solid fit. I was like, okay, cool. I'm chilling. I got my PM role, and actually, funny story is a couple weeks before graduation, I talked to the guy, and he's like, "Yeah, let's hop on a call. We think you'd be a great fit. Let's like start the process." And I was like, "Oh, great!" Like I hadn't heard back from him in a while, and I was really getting close to graduation. I just wanted a job. I was like, "All right, bet I can stop applying. This is good enough. I got the job," which I didn't, and he didn't even give me anything to sign, which was a big red flag. But I wait, I breathed a sigh of relief, and I actually bought myself a gift. I bought myself some perfume because I really like perfume. And honestly, I don't regret that because it's awesome. Parfums de Marly, great, goated brand. Buy their perfume, good stuff. But yeah, that didn't exactly turn out the way I thought it was. I got on the call with him a couple of days later, towards the end of my college time, and he was like, "All right, yeah, like we like you. We want you to come in. Can you start working right away?" And I was like, "Oh, like I'm still in school." He's like, "Yeah, like do you want to like work part time? For your last like month. There's like a month left in school, and then after that you can sort of transition into full time and stuff like that." And I was like, "Okay." And then he was also like, "And you're not going to start off as a product manager. You're going to start off as a project manager and then transition into a full time PM or transition into PM like in about 6 months, just so that you like don't know like what our products like and what our strategies like. So I was like, whatever, that's not a deal breaker, but it just I couldn't start working right away. I had internships every single year for the past 3 years. I had literally not stopped working, whether school or work, literally for 4 years straight. I was like, nah, can I have a month off? Like, I had already planned a vacation with my family, going to Dallas and everything, and I was so excited to see my cousins and everything. And I was like, can I have a month off? I just don't think I'm ready. I'm not in the mental space, mental health space is like important and stuff like that. I thought it'd work and be like, yeah, sure, we can talk in January then. It was December. So, whatever, I still thought I had it in the bag, realistically. Um, January rolls around, early, mid January. I'm emailing him, I'm texting him, like, hey man, what's happening with the job? And he's like, oh, I'm not so sure. Let's talk like late February. And at that point, I was like, I don't know about this. Like, I think I should start applying. And actually, it was one of my friends that told me, like, dude, like, you don't have anything in writing. Like, this is not happening. Just start applying to other jobs. Find something better. And, with the stuff with the project management, I knew I could do better. So I took my resume that I already had, and I thought it was pretty decent, and I started applying like crazy everywhere. I wasn't even a morning person, and I was waking up at 6 a.m. to start applying to jobs. I would apply to jobs. I would cold DM all the recruiters. I would like, you know, go on this website called ADP List, and I would talk to different. It's like a mentorship website, and I would talk to people about my resume and about my experience, and like mock interviews. I was just going crazy, and I did that for a couple weeks. Nothing, not one response, tons of rejections. I was like, all right, I need to switch it up. So I started working on my resume, and I think what the most important change that I did is I didn't really have much product experience, but I realized that you have to productize everything on your resume, even if you don't have product experience. So everything on my resume, I kind of tailored towards the way a product manager would write the resume, which is I did X to have X results and X deliverables. So I'd be like, I wrote this code to improve efficiency by 30%, resulting in improved profit or resulting in improved customer retention rate. And the other big thing that I think was really helpful is if you don't have product management experience, make your own. So towards the end of my college time, I started working on a startup with a couple of my friends. And I think one thing is, I'm not saying just make up stuff for the sake of it and don't do it. Do the thing, be passionate about the thing. But if you can do that, definitely put it on your resume. I started working building this little small company, building this platform for medical health tech devices with my friends. And I was really excited about it. And I was like, sort of doing product manager stuff. We were doing stand up meetings. I was making product strategy and product requirements. I did the role of a product manager at a tiny startup. I was doing tons of work. I was doing UX. I was doing a little bit of code. I was doing pretty much everything. And it was great. But I think that was also super important. And I just put everything I could on my resume and tried to make it sound product managey. I even put my car club that I started at Purdue. I put on my resume and I was like outreach, business development, and like design logos and interacted with other businesses to generate revenue at car meets or at like automotive events and building community. So it's like take whatever you can and turn that into some sort of product experience. So after doing that and religiously applying, customizing my resume and the keywords to every single individual company and what they were about. So if it was a health tech, I'd emphasize my health things. If it was like um, a marketing company, I'd emphasize like my marketing agency stuff. So after doing all that stuff for about another 2 weeks and reaching out to every single person I knew, asking them for referrals, asking them for help if they knew anybody, I finally landed 5 interviews. Two of them I got through referrals, and three of them were at small startups. One of them a unicorn. And I interviewed with each of those companies 2 to 3 times. So some of them I interviewed twice, some of them I had 3 rounds. And I'm not gonna lie, the interview process was pretty interesting. I didn't find it too challenging. I think people get really scared of product interviews, but for people breaking into product out of college, you're applying to not product management roles, but associate product manager roles, which is obviously more entry level. And they don't really expect the full fledged product interviews where they're asking you like tons of detailed questions. How would you improve like conversion rates on this website? Like what features would you build? uh, it's sort of more like rudimentary basic stuff like, oh, how would you improve like Facebook's marketplace page. Or the question I got at most of my interviews was, "What's your favorite product? How would you improve it?" Or "What's your like least favorite product? How would you make it better?" So after a couple rounds of interviews, I'd ruled out a couple companies because I just didn't really vibe with the people I was interviewing with, or I didn't really like the product, or I got rejected from about two of them. And then three of them I continued to talk to and ultimately got a return offer from one of them um, before I even heard back from the other two. So, I mean, actually, I got an email from another one of them like a couple days ago, even though I already started working. So I got an offer. I took the first offer, not just because it was the first, but because genuinely I thought it was the best company. I truly enjoyed interviewing with everybody there, and um, yeah, it's just a great company. I've been there for about 4 weeks now, and I'm doing really interesting stuff. I like it a lot more than software engineering, and working in a small company is also exactly what I was hoping for. I'm not, I don't feel like a small cog in a big machine. I feel like I'm truly gonna build something that has some impact. So I don't know if this video was super useful. I hope there was some information that you can extract from this. And I'm hoping to work on a longer video which outlines sort of my processes and my resume and stuff like that about exactly how to get a product manager job. But this is sort of just a quick overview video of how I landed my role and sort of the story behind that. So I have one last final like thing that I want to share is no matter what, don't let anybody else tell you what you're going to do and what you want to do. Throughout this journey, I had so many people telling me after all my rejections, go back to software engineering, just apply to big tech, just apply to like sweet roles. Why are you trying to break into product management? It's so hard, you can't do it. And at the end of the day, I really think that it's really important to believe in yourself no matter what. If you want to be a product manager, if you want to be a software engineer, or whatever you want to do, have conviction, believe in yourself, and I know you're going to do it, and I know you're going to be great. If you like this video, you already know what to do. I don't even have to tell you. And without further ado, take care, have a great day, and I'll see you next time, hopefully.